she took Redox Gold and put it on 250 people. And I asked her to come on here and share the results with me. Edwina and I were at the launch of this product several months ago, and she got excited. I got excited, but she went home and she went to work. So, Edwina, will you share with everybody, I guess before we dive into the results of the Redox Gold, like what was it about the Redox Gold that got you so excited? Like, what is it? How does it work? And what did you kind of go, ooh, yes.
Okay, so let me go backtrack. Okay, back to January when we went to Salt Lake City to see the review. Honestly, I didn't want to be there because I had to fly all the way from Singapore to United States for a one-day launch event. In a day of technology, you could do a Zoom, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I had a leak. Someone whispered to me, it targets genetic pathway.
Mm.
If something targets genetic pathway, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So anyway, I went there more for the science. And then after they did all the presentations, they gave us a small tube each. And honestly, with all the flights, and I had a Japan trip before that, I had things that would really saw down my back. So
Yeah.
before they even finished talking, I was like ripping it open, let's put it to the test, right? So within a minute, I felt it. And then I looked at my roommate, she looked at me. We're like scrambling to find more places to apply because we just couldn't believe what we're experiencing. And then we're just like, okay, yeah, it's working, it's working. So we were like putting like elbows, shoulders, knees, everywhere. And then next thing they announced, you have 1 hour to place an order. And it's the only time that we'll take the orders. So we were like scrambling, how much can we carry back? And who are we buying for? And how much can we afford to buy?
Yeah.
It was scrambling. So by faith, I bought 200 tubes home.
Wow.
That is the maximum that my suitcase can carry. All right.
Uh-huh.
And on top of that, I'm given 200, at least about 300 over small tubes, right?
Uh-huh.
So, okay, well, and I think the reason why I wanted to try on people is because the company says they have put it on test subjects and 100% of people felt an improvement. I'm
Good
someone who
statistic.
cannot, yeah, no, so I can't believe that, Danielle. Can you believe someone tell you that 100% of people saw improvement? How believable is that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I find it very hard to believe. And anyway, in a factory, you can narrow down a situation. But when I meet with people, okay, I say my customers tell me, okay, when you went to US, now come back and tell me all about the goal. If I tell them 100% people saw results, and then they buy one tube home and they call me and tell me it didn't work for me. Now, what am I going to say?
Right.
Right? So before I market a product, I need to know what am I going to say.
Mhm.
So I'm a scaredy cat. I need it for myself, and I need to know how to make the product work. Because 10 people who have a knee problem, they all don't have the same problem.
True. Right.
True, right? They all have different reasons why they're not having comfortable, feeling comfortable. They all have different reasons and different circumstances.
Mhm.
So does it mean that the same way of using a product applies to everyone? Right now, you and I don't know.
Right.
Even when I came back from the trip, my team said, please organize a meeting. We want to meet you and tell us all about it. So when I got there, I had tons of questions. Will it work for this? Will it work for that? Will it work for this? And then I said, the answer to all your questions is, I don't know.
We got to find out. Yeah.
Right. I know as much as you. I played the video the company gave us. I said, great, now you and I have the same information. So I do not know. But today we will find out. I opened up 5 big tubes as I'm sending it down the road. Everybody applied it, but I only have one request. Give me the data. So we pull up a whiteboard. I say, now tell me where it hurts, what's the before rating, what's the level of discomfort, and tell me what do you feel after you apply, how long it takes, how much do you put.
Mhm.
We are collecting information that will help us with a usage plan.
Yeah. Smart.
I have 50 people in the room that night.
Hmm.
That's a good size. So we did that. Okay. I paid for the sampling and they all tried it. I said, use as much as you need. And at the end of an hour, we collated the results. Only 2 people didn't see results.
Huh.
Hmm. And then I asked them, I collated and I gave it. I said, this is now what you and I both know. What do you think about it?
Right.
Do you have it for sale? We want to buy. Head out to a counter with them, make purchase. I sold 200 tubes in this fashion. I simply asked someone, will you help me to collect some data? I will give you a free experience. The only thing I need is tell me how you feel before and how you feel after.
Mhm.
That's it. I don't even sell. But after the experience, they'll say, do you have one tube to sell? And how much will it be? So
Yeah.
everywhere I go, I carry tubes with me in a small little bag, and I just aim to meet people, existing customers, people that I know who have some kind of discomfort, referrals, friends of friends. I say, anyone you know, it will be a free experience in this 1 month. And I'm willing to go to where they are.
Mhm.
So I was driving my little car round and round the island. The whole day I'm just going around the island doing this exercise. It was very busy, but it was rewarding because I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I will put until the person has a response. So in that process, I learned all the different tricks in doing the product.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, enlighten us. We want to know the tricks. So
Okay.
what did you
So
learn?
for
Where's it working?
example,
Where's it not? What do you do? Yeah.
right. So for example, if your knee hurt, imagine this is your knee, and say, oh, the front of here hurts. If you only apply here, it's not going to have much result. You need to go on the whole knee, including the back,
Okay.
especially the back. And sometimes there was one lady, I touched her, the back of her back, the knee, it should be an N, right? It should be an N.
Sure.
But she is actually a U.
Oh,
So the her under knee is swollen. I don't know why. She doesn't know why. Okay. So I just applied. At the time I used only gold. So I just put gold for her, front, back. And I said, there's something weird below your underknee. This a big bump there. So I just keep applying more. As I apply more, it went down by half. It flattened by half.
oh,
It's so
wow.
interesting. And then I felt like a tube. There's a horizontal tube going across. Well, why is there something like that underneath your knee? It doesn't feel right. So I apply some more. And then after that, she said, oh, it still feels tight. So I touch the top of the knee, I touch the bottom to the calf, and wherever I feel tight, I just apply. After an hour doing that for her, she kicked, said, oh, it feels good. She jumped up. I've never felt so good in 20 years. I'm
Wow.
like, oh, wow. And then she tell me she has a certain condition that children has that doesn't enable her to walk. It starts with P,
Oh, wow.
5 letters. And then
Yeah.
I go, wow. If you told me beforehand, maybe I would have given up half an hour ago.
Yeah.
It's not
No.
going to work. Right. Because you have a history like that. But she said, it's the first time that I could walk well. I said, great, buy a tube, walk on the other knee yourself. Because she
Right.
said, oh, the other one hurts too because of compensation. I said, I'm tired, it's been an hour. You buy one tube and you go home and continue the work.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. So it's not just one dab, right? And so, I mean, sometimes I've seen people use like that much and say, oh, it's not doing anything. So sometimes you need a little bit more and definitely maybe a little bit more than a little dot.
I give this analogy. If you're gone for a holiday, you went back home after a month. Now what happens to the house? It's filthy. You can't use the standard housekeeping that you do every day or every week. You can't use that methodology for the house. It has to be a major cleaning.
Deep clean.
So
Yeah.
if you have something that is bothering you for a long time, you will need to do a one-time housekeeping. So my 1 hour with this lady is essentially a housekeeping. I'm working on every ligament, every joint, every part that has been hurting for a long time, that's been tight, that's been uncomfortable for a long, long time. So
Yeah.
it needs a lot, right? To be able to jump up and say it's completely loose. She was spinning, she was dancing.
Oh, wow.
Literally 1 hour non-stop application. If you say, oh, I don't want to use that much, I feel the pinch, then okay, do it every day. Every day, 2, 3 times a day, right? So you're using lesser, but you are giving time.
Sure.
Some people need a little bit more time. I always give the example of the house. If you talk to women, they understand you immediately. The amount of effort you need to clean the house that one off versus the everyday maintenance. If I tell a man, the pipe is choked, do you just unchoke one part or do you make sure that you clean out the whole pipe, no matter how much effort it takes? Of course, you clean the whole pipe. If not, it will choke right back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's like your house looks good. You pull out the sofa. Oh dear, there's tons of stuff below the sofa. Do you clean half and leave for the wind to blow the half away? Of course not. So in the same way, if you apply, I feel a little bit better. Should you leave it alone or should you just be relentless and get rid of it? It's the same concept.
Yeah. Smart. Because I think people are so used to, at least here in the States, it's like, I pop a pill, I'm done. Like I do one thing, it resolves. And I don't know, with this, like the recovery aspect, I kept like, when we were at that launch event, they kept saying relief. And I was like, okay, nice for someone to get relief. But what really caught my attention was the recovery piece, where they said, look, continued use of it is going to support with recovery. And it sounds like you kind of went in and went, okay, well, let me just aggressively use it at the beginning to sort of stimulate that in a big way, which is a fun idea.
There's an even more fun idea. I have a bit of a chronic pain on my upper back. It goes up to my neck.
Mm.
So when I first started using the gold, it was great. I said I could fire my masseuse because I could self-help.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could self-help, right? And then the month that I was so busy, I was seeing about 5 to 7 people a day, house call, which means I was driving place to place. I was tired. I go home really tired, but I didn't felt sore.
Hmm.
So I came to this conclusion. I've applied so much for people that I'm absorbing through the palms of my hands.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean it's not going to be immediate, but I have so much that my body is using it based on cellular technology, cellular understanding. When
Yeah.
my body absorb it, it goes and turn on the pathways internally. So
Hmm.
then I have more resilience and more resources to help my own discomfort.
Yeah. Nice.
I
Yeah.
tell
The
my social,
benefits.
if you are kind to help someone, then I mean God is also kind to help you,
Exactly.
right? Sometimes I'm very stingy to put it on myself, but I'm very generous to people around me. So if I help people, I help myself too.
Yeah. So tell us
Mhm.
other things you found. So when you were to put it on people, I mean, did you have people that just one application, they could feel something happening? Did you have locations on the body where you felt consistently like faster things were felt and other places that it was like, oh yeah, that's kind of deep. It takes a little bit longer, maybe with the hips or something. Anything you can kind of share? Like you said, you were doing this to
Okay.
figure out a usage plan. So what did you kind of come to?
So I always tell my team, okay, if anyone has an experience that doesn't work, please call me.
Mm,
We will confront it. We will face it. You know, if you need to say a sorry, I'll say the sorry. If I could make it work, I'll make it work. But
okay.
just let me know. So I went down. So there was one incident where this guy, he's pretty athletic. Now you could see like dumbbells in the house. There's a mountain bike hanging outside the door. So he's really fit, right? And he said, I have this shoulder pain. And when I put it on, it did nothing.
Mm,
I kind of follow your instructions, it did nothing. So I said, okay, do you mind if I touch you and do it for you? Because if I can't touch the person, I can't feel it, right? And he
mhm.
said, sure, I mean, I'm a man, right? So anyway, he did. So when I touched him, I was like, oh, it's a big, I mean, the muscles was this big and it was tight.
Yeah.
It was all over the shoulder. I said, if your neck area is tight and you only put it on the shoulder, it's unlikely that you will feel a difference because everything here is all jam,
Mhm.
right? If the way to the stall, the road is clear from the store, but if from where you are to the junction is jammed, it doesn't matter if the road to the store is clear. You can't get there anyway, right? You can't feel it. So I said, may I start from your neck? So anyway, I did it from his neck and his shoulder. And he said, why do you keep applying where I don't feel painful? I
Hmm.
said, because when I touch you, it's tight. Okay, so can you just let me do my work and trust me? Anyway, you are not paying for it. It's my tube. Okay. So if you want to put it on your whole back, that's my prerogative. Okay, you just give me your body, all right? So anyway, so I started applying neck, shoulder, and I think I used about 6 blueberry,
Okay.
which is not a lot. In the past, we will use Renew 28, we use far more than that. So I did that. And I went all the way down to the shoulder blade, you know where the U shape is.
Mhm.
I went all the way down. And after that, I say, so as I apply, I say, move it a little bit. Does the discomfort move? Yeah, it went around this way. So based on the feedback, I trace the discomfort. And then I say, move it a bit more. Yeah, now it's feeling uncomfortable somewhere else. Great, tell me where. So I did that. It took about 6 blueberry for one whole shoulder. And then he was like, whoa, this is good, this is good, this is great. And
Nice.
then the other side is now feeling the discomfort.
Of course it is.
Of course, right? Because the more uncomfortable one is now
Yeah.
okay. So therefore,
Now that
now
one's
the one is
louder.
now reacting. And I only need 3 blueberry to do the same work.
Interesting.
And he was very happy with it. He said, great. I said, you learn something. You just need to put it on a wider area.
Yeah. That's really
Yeah.
helpful. Really helpful to tell people because you got to kind of trace like well where because there's like referred issues and you might feel it down your hand but really it's coming from the neck. So that's a really good kind of tip to share with people is be liberal with it. Don't be stingy and find where it might be like the root of it, right? That's what we're trying to get at. It's the root of the issue. Any other tips?
Yeah. So the more chronic something is, so some of them, I had this for 20, 30 years, right? Be patient. You have to put it on a wider area. You may need one-time generous house cleaning to just kind of like get it going. It's like jump starting a car, you have to jump start the car and get it going, right?
Yeah.
And then do it for at least 2, 3 times a day and do it every day, right? For some people, there was one old lady. Oh, it's just she's a poor thing. She has a big step out of her house. Means to get out of the door, there is a big step.
Mhm.
When your knees are swollen, you can't take the step.
Yeah.
So she can't get out of the house. And she has a smaller step from the living room to the kitchen. So she can't get into her kitchen as well.
Oh, geez.
So her church friends have been buying food for her, have been visiting her, and one of them calls me and says, will you come and see this old lady? I don't know if she will buy it, but I think she needs help. But we are not quite confident to help her. We gave her a tube as a gift, but she said it doesn't work. I'm like, okay, so I'll go. So I went down, and I got her to lie down, and then we applied it for her. I did for about an hour. I saw the swelling came down by half, but I'm still not very happy with it. I wanted more results. So I reached a point where I've applied 2 times, 3 times. By the 4th time, it's like maybe I've done enough, it worked. But the next 4 application of gold did nothing. Visually, I don't see it. So I got a little bit like, okay, let's try. So I took up this friend of ours, Renew 28, and I said, let's see if this makes a difference. So I slapped a big block down and go, oh, the swelling came down. Okay. So I started layering. So she was pretty happy with the outcome. She could walk. I met her recently after a month. She's doing a lot better. She's totally mobile. She's comfortable.
So, and
You know,
she's combining the two? Is that what she continued to do?
yeah, she's using both. And she doesn't need as much as I did. It's like I did the whole spring cleaning for her on my expense, right? On my expense. Just to maintain the house. Yeah, so the next person that's similar to her, I started layering it immediately. It's no longer as a last resort, no longer as a touch-up. It's like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, it just go on layers. This layer get absorbed, I go this one. And it just go vice versa. I needed only 6 layers and I'm done.
Nice.
I finished it in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, instead of an hour. So I've been playing with these 2 tubes. So I tell my people, if you are very confused, use both.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're not confused, you experiment. Especially with your own body, you can try.
Yeah.
If it's a fresh discomfort, you just overstrain your shoulder today, probably go alone is enough.
I know. I went on my neck. My neck was like that guy's. It was like a rock. And the first time I put it on, I felt it loosen, but then, it was back in a couple hours. And I have, listening to you, when you were telling me, no, go to the source, go up and down. I started doing that from the base of my skull all the way out to my shoulder every night before I go to bed for like a month and a half. I did it. And I'm like, the amount of, like, I started to feel other muscles started to freak out, I think, because these ones finally started to loosen. The other ones had to kind of compensate. So then I had to kind of work it down. So now everybody's relaxed. It feels so nice. Like you just gotta be patient, and I like this layering aspect I hadn't thought of. So, can you explain to people, like, so what you said, this has genetic pathway signaling, like what's the difference between these 2 things?
Okay. All right. Okay, ASEA only markets one thing, which is redox technologies, which is something that our body naturally has. So our product comes in a set. We actually have a drink version. If I meet a new friend, I usually bring out all 3. Okay, then I have it.
I have it.
Okay. So this is exactly what's inside our body. All right. We use our own technology to make a molecules that's so small. It's what our cells need to trigger all the cellular pathways to be healthy. So that's the oral version. This is the same product used topically. So the drink talks to all your cells from the inside. This talks to all your cells from the outside. So we use it for a whole host of things. Okay, from skin being more purity, from things that are uncomfortable. Basically, there are at least 50 ways that users have found that is effective. This is the same molecules, but talks only to NRF2 pathway, which is helping the body to deal with inflammation and discomfort. Okay, so because we are not a medical product, we don't want to talk about medical terms. We use the word discomfort to cover anything from soreness, tightness, swelling, anything that hurts. All right. So if you have something that's uncomfortable, this is your go-to because it only talks to one pathway. It's faster, and therefore you need less to get the same outcome. I can use this to do the same work. I just need a lot more.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like I have a guy who tells me I can't lift up my shirt because my whole shoulder is frozen. It's tight. I say, okay. So he said, does the product work? I say, we tried it. I said, why do you say that? If I tell you it will, do you believe me? Of course not. Therefore, we try it. Right? So I applied, I got his wife to apply this for him. So I just simply guided her on where to put. And I was like, after every 3 times, it's like, okay, move a little bit. Now where is tight? So just trace. She did the whole shoulder. After that is done, he took off his shirt. I feel nothing. I'm not sure if it's working. I said, sure, but your shirt is off already.
Yeah.
You took it off.
Yeah.
And she's still like, oh, I don't feel anything. I said, okay, I guess not feeling something is the right thing to do. So that took half a tube then.
Mm.
Now I probably can do the same thing with this, maybe 6 to 8 blueberry.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
So there's a difference in these two. And like I have a lady who wanted to try, she has two sides that's tight. So with this, I think I used about 3 blueberry. She felt it in 1 minute. The other side, I used this. I needed 3 strawberry. She felt it 15 minutes later.
Interesting. Yeah, this is just way more potent. Yeah.
So they does the same thing, but because this talks to one thing, it's faster. You need less. This talks to everything. Sometimes, it gets stuck somewhere, it's doing something else.
Right.
Yeah. But what do we layer? Okay, so this is effective for the inflammation pathway, but this doesn't promote blood circulation.
Right.
I found that out the first day. My suitcase fell on my wrist. So we were all really excited. We took out gold and we applied on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the pain went, but the bruise didn't. It got darker and bigger. And I was actually very unhappy. If I have used the new, it won't even appear. I was pretty unhappy about it.
Yeah.
My roommate came along and go, oh, it's doing exactly what it says it will do. It's only doing one thing. So she was feeling positive about it. I'm like, okay, that's a fair comment.
Yeah.
So that's why I know this doesn't promote blood circulation.
Yeah.
This one does.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have certain issues that requires both, you use both.
Mm-hmm.
If something is chronic, the circulation is definitely not good.
Yeah.
Right? For a long time. So you use both. Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes total sense. Well, thanks for sharing all the wisdom you gained from doing this and the dedication. I mean, I'm grateful that you spent the time with people to actually test this out, to see, what does it really get to? How does it really kind of sped up the results they're having? I love that deep clean idea when you first get it, and then like just maintenance, maintenance cleaning and just keeping and supporting. Anything else that we haven't touched on that you wanted to mention about using the RedoxGold or the Renew 28?
Sure. So, I've just actually spent 2 years with a chiropractor. That's probably my most expensive health exercise because he took an x-ray and said that my thoracic area is very compressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have a car accident before.
Mm-hmm.
But thanks to our ASEA drink, I have no whiplash symptoms whatsoever. But by the x-ray, I had a very degenerated section on my back. And that's why when I'm overstressed or I overexert myself, I tend to feel a lot more strain on the upper back of my neck. So now what I'm doing is routinely, either every day or every other day, I just apply gold and renew from the base of my skull all the way down to my tailbone. I need someone to help me because I can't reach the middle part. And just of doing that, it frees up that whole tension. So I could combine with stretching, I could combine with stuff. I stop feeling that stress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's something routine I do. And recently, the Singapore office invited a physiotherapist to do a free health talk. So things like not locking your knees when you're standing, right? Whereas I did that. So when you don't lock your knees, it takes away a lot of pressure up the spine. So not locking your knees, not crossing your legs. When you sit, your knees should be below your hip, not above.
I'm going to adjust how I'm sitting now.
Exactly. So we are doing things to ourselves on a daily basis, right? So I realized when I start to change some of these few simple things, hey, I have lesser stress on my back, and therefore it stops coming back. Yeah. So there's simple things that we can do. And of course, if you don't move at all the whole day, just watch TV, the whole body is stiff. You still need to move, you still need to stretch. So common sense is still at play. But now we have something that enables your body to keep up. To still enjoy moving.
Beautiful. Well,
and I do have people that don't see results. Okay, let's be fair, let's be honest here. I do. But I'm talking about 5 or 250.
Wow. Yeah.
All right. And recently I have a friend, she's very honest with me, and I appreciate it. She said, hey, Amina, it's working, but the part at my back it still hurts really bad and it's getting worse. I said, go get it checked. You sure it's okay to get it checked? Of course. The product doesn't stop getting it checked, go get it checked. And then she tells me, say, oh, based on the MRI, this part of my spine is having a problem. Oops, we have been applying on the lower back when it's actually the mid back, because that's where she felt more of the stress. But that's not where the problem is. So where it's a topical product, we have to put it on where it matters, right?
Right. Yeah.
So sometimes
Yeah.
going to a medical professional and have it checked and know exactly where the problem is will help you to diagnose it better
Hmm.
and use products better.
Yeah. Super helpful. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing your wisdom. Thank you for going out there and doing the work to get
It's
real
okay.
data. And that you can trust in and we can all trust in. And guys, if you've got questions, put it in the comment section. I can have Edwina answer the questions. I can answer the questions. We'll get your questions answered. If you want to get started, make sure you head over to the website and grab gold. You can get a 10% discount as well. You just use the discount code that is in the description. And I look forward to seeing you on this journey and hearing the results that you get. Thank you, Edwina, for coming on today.
Anytime for you to know.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.